Hey there, Boots Owen here. This is the Dyson CR01 Contrarotator washing machine. It's about 23 years old or thereabouts. The Contrarotate is disabled. It was struggling previously because the element down the bottom there wouldn't heat up. I wasn't sure why. Taking the board out and looking at it and putting it back together again seemed to fix it. It was heating yesterday, so I'm going to try it on a 90 wash. That should blast out some of the crud that might be still in it. I'll put in a bit of soap and I'll put in some clean laundry, some rags that I've washed previously. So anything that comes out should be from the machine. I've got the front panel off, so the door interlock. So the door interlock for the front panel is just here like this. I've got a hook in it to activate the door. To activate the door lock, let's put some soap in. Let's put some laundry of contrasting colours in. Close that door, turn it on and we're live. So cotton, let's turn it up to 85. It doesn't have a 90. 85 is its boil wash. Higher speed spin. It was struggling to do a load balance as well. Let's press start. Now it's telling me that the outer door is not closed, so I need to clunk this thing here like that. Press start, and now it's working. It had a drip out of this pump before, so I've got a cup under it. It's taking on water. And it's turning. That's my laundry right now, about 9 or 10 degrees through the glass. I don't know if the glass affects it, but the glass will heat up once it gets to 85 degrees as well, so hopefully it should all work. We'll come back in time when it heats up a little bit. So after about 10 minutes, it's gone up quite a bit. It's pretty good. It's coming on. It's taking its time. If you watch how the wash moves, it's kind of tumbling on the ground. Whereas in other washing machines, the way the paddles work is they pick the laundry up to about here and then it drops, or higher, depending on the speed of rotation. And that means that you get the soap pounded through the laundry. This is more of a tumbling action, so maybe this is why it takes so long. And you've got to think as well, with the Contrarotate feature, it would tumble in one way and tumble in the other rather than picking it up and dropping it. So the laundry's never going to fall, it's only ever going to be massaged. And if you can imagine a ball between two conveyor belts, it'll just spin in a circle and stay in the one place. So if you had a ball of laundry like this, which this has become, it's become a sausage because the machine doesn't contrarotate, but if it had the two sides working, I think it would just turn into a ball on the bottom and spin. I can't prove that theory because the machine doesn't contrarotate, but there you go. It'll take forever to heat up, I think. So I'll just have to wait. So it's gotten to about 80, what will that be, 79, 82 I saw a minute ago. It's cooling off, it's at 80 degrees or so there, it's been agitating for a few minutes. It's taking on more water before it's doing a rinse, which I find a bit peculiar. You can see how dirty the water is in there. I thought it was pumping out, but it's taken on more water. I presume it's not going to boil it. It's still too hot to touch. 78. 79. It's taking on cold, so it's got to cool off once it starts to agitate. I hope it's not going to try and heat up this water, because that's just a waste. It's filling it right up the door there, you can see. That looks a bit more aggressive than previously. It seems to be cooling off. 72. Still hot. So it has cooled down quite a bit, from 80-ish down to 53. 80's not bad if it was trying for 85. I noticed a few pieces of plastic floating around in there, so I'm guessing they've come in from between the drums. There was a lot of bits of plastic stuck between the Contrarotate drum and the main drum. It's looking good though. It seems to be washing and going through the cycle, so that's positive. Seems to be soaking now. Oh, there's a click there. There we go. So it held that water in it for about 5 minutes, that extra water, and now it's draining out. Previously, before it went on to do a spin, it didn't drain out all the water, which I thought was a bit peculiar. It doesn't seem to have an issue with the pump. It wasn't trying at all in the past, so I'm not entirely sure why it didn't. As it stands, you can still see there's a bit of water in it. I'll let that drain off, and then it should do a small spin, and then a number of rinses. The pump paused there, now it's pumping again. There's still a lot of water in it. You can see the water is above that paddle, and you can see a piece of white plastic just floating in there. So it looks like the water is now nearly down below the drum. That's positive. So right now the pump down here has no water in it, or very little, and there's something like a cotton bud straw in there as well. And as it spins, it's filling up with water slightly. I dislike the fact that there's so much rubbish in around the drum, but that's what you're up against with this machine. So that was a decent spin. It's gone on to rinse 1 of 2. It's up at rinse 1 of 2 now. It's taken on more water. It looks like we're in action. This is the water that came out. You can see up at the top of the bowl there, it's kind of sand and bits. Not too bad really. That's all out of the machine, but it's good to know that it's getting cleaned. You can see a bit of plastic down here and another piece over here. So stuff is coming out of the machine, and that's good. It's pumping out at the end of rinse 1 now, and you can see the action of it flipping the laundry up higher. That's what I would have expected in the main wash, but it's gentler than that. So this is a spin at the end of rinse 1 of 2. So I should do a final rinse now, and I'll try and catch the spin. Alright, so it finished and a tiny bit more sand came out. You can just about see it here. Like nothing really. So it's done its first complete cycle, this washing machine. It smells a bit... oh dear, look at all this plastic waste. So this has come out of nowhere in the machine. I also seem to have lost a piece of the paddle, which was, you know, expected really because it was cracked. Now there's plastic waste in there. More again. So if you can see in the back there, this paddle here is missing this piece and it was completely bent. And I took them out to see if I could get the spider parts off the back, but I couldn't. More plastic. There's loads of plastic coming through now. Quite gross really, because that's somebody else's litter. These two pots, so about, oh, well, at least a litre of dust and bits came out of this machine. This one here is mostly plastic litter, like what I've just pulled out of the machine. And this was the condition of the inner spider. The outer spider wasn't too bad, but the inner spider had just rotted away to almost nothing. And when I was taking the machine apart to refurbish it, or to get it going, to get it moving again, it broke. So there you are, Dyson. I'll put you back together now. Ooh, one last thing. Down on the front here there's this little puddle of water, and you can see it's got a grey stain because it's been doing this for a long time, but I cleaned this before. And it should have stayed clear, but it didn't. There's a little passage to drain down the water, but it had blocked up again. I'm not sure why, but it's clear again now. Right. Dyson CR01. I'll have to do something about the leaky pump next. I might just take the whole pump out and clean it and put it back together again, because it's dripping. You can see about, what would that be, about a tablespoon of water. Nothing major, but shouldn't be like that. Questions or comments, leave them below. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. A like would be appreciated, and thanks for watching. See you later.